Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Game Day Show. I'm Ethan Bass, your host, and this is your source for college football entertainment. Today, we're doing a little NHL action. We're going to do a little bit of the NBA today and the NFL. I'm here with
Dylan Lopatin, cousin.
Who is my cousin, yes, sir. And we're currently live streaming on Instagram Live on Ethan Bass 15. Now, we do have a production account that we'd like you to follow, and All Gator Nation on Instagram, Twitter, Ethan.Bass15, and TikTok, where we post videos on Ethan_Bass2, I believe. Not positive on that. Anyways, let's get started. We do have the Stanley Cup Finals coming up this Monday night, or I guess today when you were watching this. It should be pretty exciting. We have the Montreal Canadiens and against the Tampa Bay Lightning, the defending Stanley Cup champions. And we have an incredible goalie matchup to talk about right now. We have Andrei Vasilevskiy with the Tampa Bay Lightning and playoff Carey Price with the Montreal Canadiens. What do you see in this goalie matchup?
Well, I don't really know how you could bet against Carey Price in the playoffs. I mean, the guy's just been going strong for so many years now. He's never got his team to the finals. He's never had that much support, looking back, besides maybe PK Subban and some of the other teams they've had in the past. But it's really hard to bet against Carey Price in the playoffs. But you could say the same about Andrei Vasilevskiy. The guy's been a rock the entire postseason. It's going to be an amazing matchup to watch.
Nobody has bet against everyone said the Montreal Canadiens will lose in the first round against Toronto. They went on and beat Toronto in 7, swept the Jets, and now they just beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 6. What a way for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, I had Toronto in 6, and then I had the Jets in 5, I think. I just, you can't see them getting that far. But then once you see Carey Price on fire the way he is, going through these series, he's got support from Cole Caulfield, he's got Tyler Toffoli. A lot of the guys are stepping up that you haven't seen before. Shea Weber's playing at a way that we didn't think he'd be able to play this old. So, it's really hard to bet against Price like that.
So hard. Now, Carey Price have been phenomenal, but a guy like Dylan said, Cole Caulfield came out of nowhere. A rookie who recently won with the United States. He with World Juniors. And a guy like Cole Caulfield, who even got praise from J.J. Watt from the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, this dude's phenomenal. I mean, he's scoring right, left, and right. A guy he reminds me of a Trae Young, in basketball terms, or let's say a Matthew Barzal, who's very quick on his feet and can snipe in seconds.
Yeah, the guy's just amazing at making plays. He steps up in the play. He's got his head up the entire way. He makes passes. He's a phenomenal skater. You could really definitely see him having a future in this league as an all-star, and maybe not on quite the level of Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby, but he's looking to turn out maybe somewhere along the lines of Matthew Barzal, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Now, a guy I do want to talk about is on the other team. Brayden Point has been something else in these playoffs. I mean, amazing. I think he's the best player on any team right now in the playoffs. Maybe Kucherov, but he's a little banged up. What do you think Brayden Point's going to do in this series?
Going forward, he's probably the heavy Conn Smythe candidate. Mm-hmm. He's been the best player in this playoffs. He's been the best. Probably going forward, he'll be the best player in this series. The guy at one point 9 straight goals in games, 9 straight games with goals. I mean, that's insane.
It's crazy. Like Brayden Point, is so quick. Kind of like Cole Caulfield, how he can score from anywhere on the ice. And Tampa's power play is probably the most lethal in the entire NHL. I mean, their crisscross passes are amazing.
Yeah, Brayden Point really is the captain of that power play. And going back to what you said, he is a more experienced version of Cole Caulfield.
Yeah.
The guy is so electric to watch on the ice. He really sets up and makes his teammates better. And someone else I want to talk about in this series on the Tampa Bay Lightning is Victor Hedman.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what you think about it, but Victor Hedman he's been good these playoffs, but I don't know if he's been the same Conn Smythe-looking guy he was last year.
I mean, we're Panther fans, right? So going back to the Panther series against the Lightning, what we saw against the Lomberg goal, Ryan Lomberg, a guy, a fourth-line center or right wing, whatever,
beat Hedman
right past him and scored that overtime winner in Game 3. That's an example of Hedman kind of being a little shaky, but Hedman in the regular season was known as one of the best defensemen in the NHL. He's massive. He's 6'6". So,
but I'd say sizes and everything. I'd say going back in the year, I'd say a guy like Adam Fox had a better year than Hedman.
Yeah.
I'd even go as far as saying Mackenzie Weegar was up there with how good Hedman was.
I mean, Aaron Ekblad was probably up there too.
Aaron Ekblad he was doing better than Hedman until the horrible knee injury courtesy of the Dallas Stars.
I feel like Jeff Petrie has been alright too.
Jeff Petrie was amazing.
In the regular season he was. Yeah, I don't know about these.
In the playoffs, he's been a little maybe outshined by guys like Toffoli and Caulfield and Price, of course, but He was great throughout the entire year. He was definitely a Norris candidate as the season started, and Montreal did go on that tear to start the season.
Someone I want to talk about who probably doesn't get as much as praise. He's been on the Canadiens for a while now. Brendan Gallagher is probably one of the most hardworking Canadians I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Brendan Gallagher.
He's a backbone of the team.
I mean, he's a huge leader, and he just works. I mean, he may not get the goals, but he's a huge contributor to this team.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell he's a big guy in the locker room presence. He's someone that you can always depend on. He may not be the biggest, brightest star, of course, like Caulfield or...
Well, Caulfield's a rookie, so...
Yeah, well, even, like a guy like Nick Suzuki.
Yeah.
But he is definitely someone that you want on your team going forward in the playoff series, as you would want with Shea Weber. Now,
we're looking at these Canadiens team, right? There's no real superstar. Like, if we're looking around the league, Connor McDavid also is on the Oilers. We're going to have Kucherov, Brandon Point on the Lightning, who's in the finals. Nathan McKinnon on the Avalanche. We're looking at Alex Ovechkin on the Capitals. So the Canadiens don't really have this major superstar.
There's not one standout superstar.
Now they have a ton of depth, right? And these young guys have really stepped up. Suzuki, in particular, and of course Terry Lehkonen, who scored the game winner to go to the finals. So these Canadiens, I mean, this team is rough, and they're good.
So, like you said, there is no one standout guy, but I think the way that their entire depth is playing and how everyone's contributing, you see like Terry Lehkonen sending a historic goal for the Canadiens. Mm-hmm. So just the fact that everyone is banding together the way that they are, and every line at their own level is contributing, is really helping to make the Canadiens a contender this year, and it's what's helping them propel them to the finals, and no one saw it coming.
Now, I'm sure all Canadiens fans are loving it, and talking about Canadiens fans, we'll see, there's been a lot of talk that the Canadiens would open up the Bell Center to all fans to full capacity, but the government doesn't necessarily want that. We're not really a political show, so we're not going to talk about that whole thing. We just want to know, Dylan especially, do you think the Canadiens will open up their stadium?
I don't think they will, and not getting into all the politics of everything. Right now they're at 3,500. And for a team like the Canadiens that can fit 21,000 that their arena can fit.
It's the biggest arena in the NHL.
I mean, going beyond the politics of it, of course, and going beyond the safety measures, I'm really thinking whether or not these fans deserve it, and 100% they deserve to be in that building.
I mean, they haven't won in 28 years, so...
One of the most passionate fan bases on the planet. Yeah. The Canadiens fans, they show out for their team every year, regardless of how amazing or horrible they've been. Yeah. They've always been there, they've always been loud, they've always been proud. And if you see 75,000 Canadian fans, approximately, that's what I've heard estimates of, in the streets outside the Bell Center, only 3,500 allowed in it. So you definitely think to yourself, these Canadian fans deserve to be in that building.
Now, to all my college football fans watching this, they're kind of like the Nebraska Cornhuskers, how they're fantastic in the 90s, 80s, right, 70s, but they haven't really been good recently, the Canadians. So that's why they're a huge story, and their fans show up to everything just like Nebraska does currently.
That's one of the most passionate fan bases in the entire world, for sure. And those fans, they definitely deserve to see their team succeed. So speaking of that, I think we're going to see a lot of Tampa Bay fans having to sit right next to those Canadiens fans inside the Amalie Arena.
I think it's going to be 80-20.
It could be 75% fan Lightning, 75% Lightning.
I think all the Canadiens fans around the United States are going to go to Tampa.
Canadiens fans around the United States, for sure. Yeah. There are ones in New York, California, especially in Florida. They're going to be they're going to be at that game because they can.
Now let's wrap up this NHL segment. Who do you think is going to win?
I want the Canadiens to win.
I think most people do.
If you're not a Toronto fan, if you're not a Boston fan, and if you're not a Tampa Bay fan, you want the Canadiens to win. I definitely want the Canadiens to win, but truthfully, I'm going to say Lightning in 6.
The Canadiens are my second favorite team, right? So it's hard to bet against the Canadiens, but realistically, I'm also looking at Lightning in 6. I think Canadiens will get a couple, but everyone has bet down against the Canadiens.
The entire playoffs.
The entire playoffs, right? So it's going to be hard to bet against them because all three of the series they played, it's been really hard, right? But I do have the Lightning.
And you think about it, this is possibly and quite probably a once-in-a-career opportunity for a guy like Carey Price.
100%. I mean, Carey Price has been amazing throughout these playoffs. I'm so proud of him, and I hope he wins the cup. All right, let's move on to the NBA. Now, the NBA is very interesting right now. We do have 4 teams who are not necessarily the most powerhouse teams or have not won in a while. Of course, we have the Bucks and Giannis. Now, Giannis is Giannis. I mean, he's going to run through everyone. It's a tie series. Tonight, we're recording this Sunday, and this is going out tomorrow, Monday, the day you're watching this. So we'll see who wins tonight when we're doing this against the Hawks and the Bucks. We have the Hawks, like I just said, with Trae Young. Ice Trae has been amazing.
Trae Young is the Cole Caulfield of the NBA. Like a guy like Carey Price, it's hard to bet against Mr. Trae Young. The guy's been electric all playoffs. He dropped, I believe, 48 points?
Crazy.
Maybe it was 43, I'm not exactly sure, but he dropped a heavy amount of points in that first game. The Hawks did sort of fall apart in game 2, though. The Bucks winning by large margin. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in game 3. Atlanta's on their home turf.
Yeah.
They've got their fans showing out. Should be a sold-out arena at 100%
so
tonight.
Excited.
So it's going to be a great game to watch. You just have to see, can Giannis keep up the hot streak, or the Bucks going to go back and forth with how they're playing against these Hawks.
Now, over on the Western Conference, I love this team. The Phoenix Suns, I'm not a fan of them. I'm just rooting for them all the way. I really want to see Chris Paul and Devin Booker get a ring. Jay Crowder, of course, was on the Heat. I just want to see Chris Paul get a ring.
Paul deserves it.
I think the whole NBA, if you're not a fan, if you're just like a casual fan, like we're Heat fans, right? So we want to see Chris Paul get a ring, and that's what the majority of the NBA, if you're not fans of these 4 teams, and they're playing the Los Angeles Clippers, who have a hurt Kawhi Leonard, who is not playing. We believe he has a torn ACL, MCL. We don't necessarily know. And playoff Paul George.
Paul George is something else.
It's not pandemic Paul George we saw in the bubble. It's playoff Paul George. But he did miss 2 crucial free throws in game 2, and he's missing a lot of free throws too. Now, the Suns currently have a 3-1 series lead, so they can close that out tonight if we're speaking Monday terms. So what do you think about the Suns, man?
I think the Suns are going to make the finals.
Yes.
100%. No matter how much these Clippers fight back, I mean, without Kawhi, he's definitely out for the rest of this series, probably for the rest of the playoffs. Kawhi's hurt. Paul George, he can't do everything. He's not the same guy he used to be when he was on the Pacers, in my opinion, at least. I think that the Suns are going to win this series, and I think they're probably going to do it in 5.
5. So you're picking the Suns to win.
I don't think the Clippers have another game in them. And that's just because of how amazing that whole team has banded together. I mean, even from a guy like Jay Crowder, someone that you don't really expect to be in that top center line, or in hockey terms, I guess. But he's stepped up. Guys like Chris Paul, it just looks really good for them.
I love what he's doing right now. Chris Paul has been amazing. So has Devin Booker. I mean, he did get fouled out last game. But just that duo is fantastic with DeAndre Ayton at center. Great job there.
The passion that Booker shows in those playoffs.
Amazing.
I mean, he wants to win. He wants that ring to bring it home to Phoenix, and it's pretty obvious.
Going back to the Hawks-Bucks series, who do you have winning?
So I want the Hawks to win. I want to see Trae Young make it to the finals.
Yeah.
Because as a Heat fan, I hate the Bucks. I hate Giannis for not coming to us. I mean, we should have got him, right?
Well, yeah.
So I think the Bucks are gonna win in 7 because if the Hawks had that home game in the 7th game, I'd put them. But on their own home floor, Giannis healthy, barring that he is healthy, of course.
I think I have the Bucks in 6. I think Giannis is just too powerful with Chris Middleton.
Middleton is showing out.
See, I love Trae Young, right? And it's such an underdog story. I mean, I see the Atlanta Hawks like Canadians. Like, nobody expected them to go this far, right? Same with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the Phoenix Suns were maybe they can go, but no one expected the Atlanta Hawks to go this far.
I thought the Jazz were going to make it far.
Yeah, of course. I'm just wondering, you know, Trae Young's kind of undersized. He's around 6 foot. I mean, he is Ice Trae Young, though. I'm just wondering, is Trae Young enough to beat Giannis? I don't know if he is.
I mean, he's got the deep threat, something that Giannis doesn't have. He's got probably the best deep threat shot in the league besides maybe Curry. So, it's not easy to bet against him, like a lot of guys in these playoffs. I think that he definitely gets them to Game 7. I think that he shows out in Game 6, maybe to force a Game 7, dropping like 50 or something.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, when you've got a guy like Giannis on the other end of the floor, and you've got a guy like Chris Middleton, who's just so much amazing support shooting for Giannis, because when Giannis can't score, Middleton's right there.
I mean, Giannis can't even hit a free throw. It's too hard for him.
Even a guy like Brooks Lopez on that team. Yeah, he was amazing
Stepped
in the
up.
bubble.
Yeah,
and he's been great these playoffs too. So it's a team you really can't just pick up a pen and bet against them.
I think we all want, as fans, the Suns to win first, and then we want the Atlanta Hawks. I think those two are the most underdog stories. We obviously want to say, like we said earlier, Chris Paul, we want to see him get the ring. But we also want to see Trae Young get the ring too. But Giannis, I think, and the Bucks are third, who the fans want to see us win, and then the Clippers are fourth. Nobody likes the Clippers apparently.
If somehow the Clippers made it with the Bucks in that finals, I don't even know who I would root for.
I would root for the Bucks. I don't like the Clippers.
Something about the Clippers, I don't like them. But something about me wants them to win because screw the Lakers, who the Heat lost to in the finals last year.
I mean, but it's the Clippers.
So if the Clippers win, then the people in LA will be like, oh, this
But I mean, it would be
team.
pretty cool to see Giannis get a ring. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think Giannis will get a ring, and I think this is Chris Paul's last year to get a ring. Yes. So Giannis will probably get one in the future. Yeah. Especially if he leaves Milwaukee and he joins the team like the Heat, or I don't know, somehow he gets on the Nets or something like that. But it would just be amazing to see Chris Paul get a ring.
Do you see Chris Paul getting the ring this year?
I think he's the second best chance of getting the ring besides the Bucks.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see it happening. I wouldn't be shocked if it did. But the Bucks.
I'm super excited, man. I'm just super excited because for once in like the past 10 years, we don't have LeBron or Steph. Now, it is fun watching these LeBron or Steph in the finals, but for once, we're going to have parity in the NBA, which is great.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the Cavs, it's not going to be the Lakers or the Warriors, so it's been great.
That's new.
All right, moving on to the NFL, we got Tom Brady situation. Dylan, why didn't you describe what happened to Tom Brady the other day?
Tom Brady released to ESPN, I believe, saying in an
interview. I think it was Fox.
Was it Fox that he said it to?
I think
it was
Fox.
I'm not exactly sure. It may have been Fox, it may have been ESPN. He said it in an interview. He said, "We're coming to the end. This is almost the end. Something like that. The end is near." Do you think he's saying this is his last season in the NFL?
No. But maybe because Tom Brady's contract ends with the Buccaneers this year. I think this is the second. I think the 2022 season. I think he's gonna announce. I don't think after this. Maybe if he wins a ring, right? If he wins back to back with Tampa, but if they fall short, I think that he's gonna try to go with the 8th ring. And go in the 2022 season.
See, I see it a little differently. I think that I agree with you. If he wins it this year with the Bucks, he's done. He's going to end on a championship. He'll have 8. That's ridiculous.
It's going to be like Peyton Manning.
No one will ever even come close to him. If he loses this year, and he'll be a free agent, right? So I think he'll just either he'll sign another 1-year contract with the Bucks, trying to win it, or he'll just go back to New England to retire there.
Yeah.
And retire with Belichick. Well, who knows how much he hates Belichick or not.
I don't know. This situation is so hard because it just depends on. It's like Giannis and the Bucks, right? Yeah. Because nobody knew if he was going to sign with the Bucks, which he did. He extended it, or he's going to come to the Heat or the Knicks or whatever. I'm just wondering if Brady can do it now. His wife Giselle said, "Do you have anything else to prove?" Now I don't think Tom Brady has anything else to prove. I think
he's just doing it for fun.
Yeah, I just think. He's just doing it.
As long as the guy's healthy, as long as he's making money, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
He's somehow still dominant at what is he now, like 43? He's still
44.
Still dominant at
44. This dude's like Jaromir Jagr.
I mean, this guy, okay, if someone's this dominant, this old, and having this much fun, making this much money with a team that he loves playing with in a state he probably loves playing in, why not? If he's not just hurt and it's not detrimental to his health or well-being in any way, why not?
Now, let's say Brady does retire. Do you see the next man up, King Kyle Trask from Florida, reigning the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back?
I think that this year doesn't only serve for Brady as maybe a going-away party. I think he's training. I think he's trying to train Kyle Trask. So by being a mentor to Kyle Trask, he can help propel the Bucs' future for sure. And if he can... give Kyle Trask a bit of wisdom, maybe. The Bucs could definitely be set for the future.
I think Kyle Trask is in the perfect situation. He gets to learn under Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, fantastic. I think if he would have went to like a New Orleans Saints, I mean, he would have been probably okay. But I think this Kyle Trask,
this is perfect for him.
Yeah, and he's went in the past with Florida, and then obviously his high school.
And if you look at the guy physically as like a human being, he looks exactly like Brady did when he came into the league. He isn't like the most
athletic,
physically fit guy, but he has really good football sense. He's got an arm, and he
has accuracy,
and he knows what to do. He knows what plays to call, and he's a guy that if with this help around him, he can really get something done down there in Tampa.
Now I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Right, we heard around NFL draft time that he was not going to come back with the Packers. Do you actually think he's not going to come back?
That's such a difficult situation. So last week he did not show up to mandatory practice.
Yeah.
He could be holding out for a contract.
Yeah.
Or he could be making a statement saying, no, I'm not doing this anymore. You guys drafted a quarterback instead of getting me help to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And why did you kick a field goal on that play? In that infamous NFC Championship
I mean that was pretty stupid.
It was a dumb play. I mean, you got to give credit to Rodgers in the way that even though the entire Packers franchise is doing literally everything they can to keep him from winning, he still somehow gets them so deep into the playoffs every year. He doesn't have any help. He doesn't have coaching that will do the right thing. And no one's drafting anything to help him. So somehow he's doing good. I mean, I think he deserves more.
I sometimes feel bad for Rodgers just because I feel like every year he's in the NFC Championship, but then he just falls short.
So short.
Every time he falls short. I mean, I'm trying to think of a team to compare about in hockey or something. Who Aaron Rodgers is on, but
I mean, it's sort of like the Clippers, always making it so close to the finals.
I mean, the Clippers didn't, but the Clippers made it, right? I mean, they didn't make it these past 2 seasons, but I feel like Rodgers hasn't made it in forever.
Yeah, Rodgers does have a Super Bowl to his name.
True.
He has won a single Super Bowl. So if he did retire now, which I don't think he will, I don't think retirement's the answer to his problem here.
Nope.
But if he did retire, he'd at least retire with one. He's been an MVP multiple times. He's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's set for life for sure.
100%.
So, I mean, it's a matter of this guy. It's a different situation than Brady. Brady's in a good situation with a team that likes him, a team that respects him, lets him call the plays, lets him do whatever he wants, drafts help, gets him help.
And that's why they won the Super Bowl last year.
And that's why they won the Super Bowl. If you put Rodgers in the same situation Brady was in, they win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But they don't. They make it harder on Rodgers. They make it more difficult. They make it a pain in the ass to be a Packer. So I think he deserves better. I would not be surprised. People were saying he was going to the Broncos.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go to the Broncos. I just don't. I don't see it happening. A lot of people were saying maybe he'd go somewhere down south, maybe he'd join the Dolphins or...
I heard rumors to the Saints.
I heard rumors to the Saints too, somewhere down south.
Yeah.
The thing about the Saints is he would just be a direct replacement to Drew Brees.
Yes.
Which could work.
But I'm saying, a direct replacement to Drew Brees, but if you're looking at, Aaron Rodgers is like Tom Brady. I mean, he's getting up there in age. So if you look 3 years in the future, right, Tom Brady's out of the league. And then you have Aaron Rodgers, right, who's 43, whatever, 42, whatever. So he's going to get up there in age. And then are you going to still develop Jameis and Taysom?
Taysom Hill, yeah. So I think wherever Rodgers does decide to go, wherever he lands, it's not going to be for a while. It'll probably be 1 or 2 year contracts. It'll probably take some dumb amount of money, about $25 million, just for 1 year.
All right, I have one more question for you before we wrap up the show today. The question I have is, what do you think about the Madden cover?
Why'd you call it MVP edition if the MVP's not on the front?
100%.
I can't. I'm a little confused.
Aaron Rodgers was the MVP last
Put Aaron
year.
Rodgers in the middle. It makes sense. So they put...
All right, thank you guys so much for joining this episode of the Game Day Show. We're going to be off air for about 3 weeks. I'm going away. So we won't have edits. We'll maybe try to do a little photo edits on the Instagram account, Bass_Productions. But video edits and podcasts will be suspended for 3 weeks. So just be prepared for that. All right, thank you guys for joining. I'm Ethan Bass.
I'm Dylan.
And we'll see y'all later.